Welcome back to my channel. Today is day 6 of our 25-day countdown to October, and we are doing this adorable little ghost guy. So like I was saying yesterday, you need orange, black, and white, or again, you can do whatever color combination you want to do. I was originally going to do either a black background or a gray background with a black trim or a white trim. And then I decided I wanted something more colorful. So I did it on the white, and honestly, absolutely adorable. Love it, love it, love it, love it. So for today's video, you will need, as always, scissors, a crochet needle, and then, or like a darning needle, whatever you want to call it, and then your 5mm hook, and then a smaller hook, whether that be a 4 or a 3.5mm hook, one or the other. It doesn't really matter because you will be plying the black yarn in half to make the eyes and the mouth. But first, we're going to start with the ghost. So I'm going to take the white, I'm going to make a magic circle, and then I'm going to do 10 half double crochets into the magic circle. And then once you have 10 half double crochets, you can go ahead and tighten that, and then slip stitch into the first chain, or into the first spot. Slip stitch, and then chain 1, and then you're going to do single crochet, and you're going to do 1, you're going to do 1 in the first spot, and then 2 in the next spot, and you're just going to repeat that pattern until you get to the end. So you're going 1, 2, 1, 2, and then you should end with 15. And then once you have that done, you're going to slip stitch into that first spot again. And then you're going to chain 3, because that is going to count as one of your double crochets. You're going to go into that same spot and do a double crochet. And then in the next 3 spots, you're going to do 1 half double crochet. And then in the next spot, you're going to do 2 double crochets in the same spot. And then you're going to chain 1, and you're going to turn your work. And into the first spot, you're just going to do a slip stitch. And then in the next spot, you're going to do 2 double crochets. And then in the next spot, you're going to do 1 slip stitch. In the next spot, you're going to do 2 double crochets. And then in the next spot, 1 slip stitch. And then again, 2 double crochets in the next spot. And then in the chain 3, you're going to make sure you go into the top of the third chain. And then you're going to slip stitch. And then from there, you're going to go into this kind of empty area where the chain 3 space is. You're going to pull up a loop, and you're going to do 2 single crochets in there. And then from there, you're going to go into the stitches around the edge, and you're going to do 1 in each spot all the way around. And then when you get over here, don't forget to, when you're doing it, this spot right here, go in, do a single crochet, and then do your 2 here, do one in there, and then go in there again, pull up a loop, and then slip stitch. And then you can chain 2 and pull out enough of a tail for you to go all the way around the edge to stitch it down. And then you have the body of your ghost. And this was, I believe, the only one that's going to kind of be backwards, so the part where the tail's hanging out is actually the front. So I'm going to go ahead and weave that in real quick. And then I have 2 eyes and a mouth. So I'm going to take this much yarn, which I grabbed it. It is about an arm's length, or my arm length. And then I'm just going to ply it in half, or unply it, I guess. And then it looks like in my notes I originally put a 3mm hook as what I use for the eyes and the mouth, but I cannot find my 3mm hook, of course. So I'm just going to use a 3.5. It'll be close enough. And it looks like I did a magic circle. And then I did 4 single crochets as the eyeball. Pull that through. And then go into the first chain. Slip stitch, chain 2. And there is one of the eyeballs. And again, like, you could also just take the thread and sew a little eye on, or you could use a safety eye, but I just wanted to do it this way so he has like nice big googly eyes, so it really looks like he's like, ah. So I'm gonna make another one, and then I'm gonna make the mouth. Okay, and then for the ghost mouth, I'm going to do a magic circle, and then it looks like you do 6 single crochets into the magic circle. Pull that nice and tight. Go into the first loop, pull up a stitch, and then I'm going to chain 3 so that that is one of the double crochets. I'm going to go into the next spot, do a double crochet, actually, since I'm using a slightly bigger hook, I'm going to do a half double crochet. If you're using a 3mm hook, you can still do a double crochet, but since I'm currently using a 3.5mm hook, I'm just going to chain 2, and then into the next spot, do a half double crochet. And then in the next spot, do another half double crochet. And then I'm going to chain 2 and pull that through. And that kind of creates the curved top, flat bottom, like screamy mouth. So it's kind of similar to how we did the ghost body without the wavy bottoms. But you could do a little wavy bottom if you wanted to give them kind of like a ooh mouth. I don't know if that just made any sense, but if you get me, you get me. But that'll be his little mouth and his little eye, and I will pin those down, and I'll be right back. So the way I pinned them down was on the circle bit, like right at the bottom of it is where I put the mouth. If that makes sense, like, let me flip it. Like the circle bit. Yeah, right at the very bottom of it is where I put the mouth. And as you can see, I already pinned on the eyes, but I just tried to make sure they had a good, like, gap between them and from here, and I angled them just slightly out from the mouth, like a little triangle. And that's how I did that, or you can place them however you want. And then I just did what I usually do of the back and forth to sew it down. And then when I got done sewing it down, if anything was like poking out, then I would go back and I would go through. Like I would go through it. And then instead of going just in and out like I've been doing, I would go through this way. And then I would go back down this way, if that makes sense, to like pin it down better. So I'm going to go ahead and sew the rest of this down and I'll be right back. And now that I have all of that sewn down, I'm going to set him on here and get him sewn down to this as well. Okay, just trying to make sure I get him nice and centered, and then I am just going to make sure he is pinned down so he does not move around. And this is giving me flashbacks to 7th grade science class. So now I'm going to take my yarn, thread it on here. And then just my usual back and forth. And since it is kind of wavy, I'm going to try to direct the lower bits down, while then directing these bits up a little bit to help dramatize the wavy bits in the ghost. After doing the rest of it, I did my regular tie-off method and I threaded it through like in the middle of this layer and this layer, and then cut it like I do with all the other ones. So if you're curious about that, you can just watch one of the previous videos and I'll show you how to do that real fast. But here is the ghost. This is how he turned out. I think they are so cute with their little mouths and their little wavy little bottoms. But yes, as always, if you make these, please post them on Facebook or Instagram and tag me, or you can just directly message me on either of those two and send me a photo of them. I have them both linked in the description box below. And if you do them in different colors, also let me, like, I would love to see them in different colors. I think that could be really fun. Again, if you're doing like a cutesy one, imagine with like a light pink background and like a light purple border or something. Like, there's so many different combinations you could do. That'd be so cute. Or you could also, if you're making it and you don't want to post it or send it to me, you can just let me know down below, like, hey, I did it in these colors. And also in the comment section below, let me know what you think tomorrow's square is going to be. Tomorrow you need it's going to be reverse of these. It's going to be a black background with a orange border, and then the sew-on bit is going to be orange and black with the tiniest bit of brown, but you can also replace that brown with black or green if you don't have brown, but you really do just need like the tiniest bit of brown. So with that information, let me know what you think tomorrow's square is going to be. Also leave any of your predictions for any of the future squares we'll be working on, or any that you hope I'll make during this 25-day countdown. Or if you're not a fan of October or you're not following along on these squares, let me know what future projects you'd like me to make or that you'd like to see on this channel. As always, thank you so much for watching. I can't wait to see you for tomorrow's video, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye!